Oh boy. Mm-mm. Oh, ooh-wee. Good afternoon, people. It's almost good evening, huh? hmm Yes, it is. Such a beautiful day. hmm this video is about a lot of people I told you about that was in East St. Louis that follow me down here to Florida, all this other stuff, and they end up meeting other people, and they had people they knew move down here. It was just a whole bunch of stuff. But let me get to the point. Let's talk about the suitcases, trunks. If anybody ever had you to get in a suitcase or a trunk, please report it to the FBI. If somebody had you doing that as a child or even as an adult, report it to the FBI. I'm so serious. It's for real. So not only when they be looking at stuff at the border, when people be hiding kids up under the floors and all type ways in those vehicles, you know, when they were saying certain kids might came up deceased and hurt real bad in car accidents, and it was obvious those children were not inside the vehicle properly as you supposed to be seated in the vehicle. These people and kids were in other parts of the vehicle because either they done possibly done kidnapped them, trying to smuggle bodies into the United States and other countries. This is very important, people. It's very important. You know, it's very important. If anybody taught you to kidnap or just do something wrong to somebody else, try to convince some children or adults to do something that can possibly cause them to end their life and cause bodily harm to them and all this stuff, dehydration, suffocation, purposely or unintentionally accidents, all this stuff. Report these people. Just like this little boy named Sean Sanders. He was hanging around iron mills and laying there. Now these little kids used to come around and play with my kids and all this type stuff, well mannered, everything, you know? And they start talking to Iron and Lynn and Tangy them, they little crew or whatever, all them people. They was telling them, don't talk to me no more and all this stuff, and they end up being confused, like terrible individuals as they grew up, like Key and Kiki and them, more Key because of Brenda and them and Cheryl, and the one called herself Cheryl Foreman, the one that called herself Brenda Bobo, the one called herself Cheryl Foreman. I don't know her real name. Brenda Bobo real name Lisa. I don't know why she called herself, but I told you I put names and stuff, and I was telling you about my life when they was picking up. Like this woman kept saying she was Barbara Ford and all this other stuff. Condrell Dunlap people. He got a sister. They started calling Tracy and all their friend Rachel. These are other people that whom I had already met. Okay. They was still in paperwork and all type stuff, breaking in my house and all these people. I did not know those other people. I told y'all how I knew Aaron Mills. I was his school teacher. I was his teacher in the 70s. And he ended up bringing Lynn Mills to school, saying that Lynn supposed to beat her, all this stuff, because I was doing roll call anyway. And see, she came in line saying all these different names. So it was already known that she knew the person named Aunt Anthea Mary Turner, the Pakistan lady. She from Pakistan. She white. That's Sean Harlan and Mama Shaky them. And they call them Sean. But that ain't their names. Okay? But my point is that these people were having children or smaller people in their in the suitcases. Sean them thinking that stuff cool. They had them all in the trunks of their car. It's hot outside, all that. Sean Sanders said when he got hot while he was in the trunk of the car in the suitcase, they called him Little Scrap. And because he's short, he was even shorter than. He's short like his daddy, Kenneth. Kenneth Brazier is his father. And Kenneth Brazier short. He used to be one of my cooks, okay, for at home. And he did little stuff around the house and everything like that. My house wasn't dirty, but I have severe allergies, and I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. And people will come over, and I had somebody come over to do something that made me sick, so I had to hire somebody else. And Kenneth Brazier was like, "Sure, I do more." And he said he'll do more than cook. He'll, wipe everything down and all that type stuff. You know, but they had him in the trunk, and he said he opened up the suitcase so he could get a little air. He had been in there for hours. Then all of them started calling him stupid and all that stuff, and it was just a whole bunch of stuff. They did Kiki and them like that, and all these kids just started threatening me, getting mad at me, and all type stuff. But that was your little butt faults. And Striker, that was your fault what you did with your daughters, Key and Kiki, when all this stuff started going wrong and all that type stuff. Y'all let Brenda, Bobo, what y'all call her, Lisa, rule y'all kids and put them in all type stuff. You the ones told them kids to hang around Cheryl and them and go over there with Nikki Riley and them on my property on Division Avenue side and all that. Even Colleen, when they called Colleen Kelly, was fussing about that. What y'all little butts want? Go over there and play. Same way they did Veronica. They telling Veronica kidnapped my babies in the suitcase. I'm like, what did you do with my baby? I had my babies in the suitcase. KKK now. All this stuff. They did Taryn England like that. T and her sisters. What else they do like that? Let me think who else. A whole lot of people. Tiffany Dawson them and her sisters and Cheryl them put them in a washing machine and all this other stuff. One thing after another. There's facts behind all this. And all of them get mad at me because they little hard-headed butts was listening to their mamas or whoever they live with was telling them to hang with them type people. They told them quit talking to my kids and all this other stuff. And was teaching them bad habits and stuff to do. So they could blame them. Mm-hmm. And add these children and stuff they had nothing to do with or no knowledge of. Like one of the boys that lived with Trianne, she had a whole bunch of babies at our house. But one of them ended up with Trianne because of the boy Scrap. He was with Iron Mills. They was trying to play it off. You know how you is with a kid, period, anybody. Oh, man, come over with me right quick. This, and that. And it was babies in there. On Division Avenue side on the dead end part where Troy Brown used to live at, over that way. Not saying Troy Brown got something to do with it. Now, all these kids were very light-skinned. Very, very light-skinned. And one of them we call Hip. One of them ended up living with Trianne because Scrap took him over there. First, he had him for a little while, and he said he didn't know how to feed the baby or nothing. He didn't want the baby to die. The little boy was real little. I said, take the baby to the hospital. Okay. He said, I did. They told him to take him back to the mama. Because they knew, too, like me, that baby had been seen by a doctor and was delivered by a doctor or RN. Everything checked out okay. And he was older. And he got a birth mark. Come to find out, he got a twin. We found all that out. Because Scrap made them. Little Scrap told her, there was another baby. And guess who was over there too? See, Scrap didn't know that doctor. They want Charles Davis. The one that Kim Bunny was having problems out of when she was growing up. And they kept trying to get her other kids that she knew. Now, she had a baby before. Don't get me wrong. Her daughter, Talea, her first one. And she knew how to have a baby where a baby come from. And they kept trying to give her more kids. Hmm. All this stuff has to be turned in completely and finished. Okay? Completely. That young man they called him kept trying to use my son to narrate information. He can't help. Why would the police do that mess? Why would you all wait around trying to get everybody some money off cases that you all didn't care about? Oh man, we going because these people y'all friends like default now. Not realizing that the state Illinois investigator Steve Wilco and everybody else already had looked into it. 1-800 The Lost had information out there. And particularly also about my kids. My kids was on the milk cartons. You know? And we know Nicki Minaj had something to do with it, and she finding other people light skin like her and all this type of stuff. Nicki Minaj got a big old nose. Y'all already know how she look without that pancake face. When I call somebody pancake face, I ain't talking because they face flat or something. I'm talking about all that makeup. The same thing Boomer was saying. Mm-hmm. Um, Boomer is Barry Gordy nephew. You know, Barry Gordy that works for me in Motown. I'm the owner of Motown. Barry Gordy didn't own it. Every time they was running, he say he wasn't telling them to do. He said, "Man, why y'all?" He kept wondering why they kept putting him. They was creating problems, and I don't care how much they was when Barry Gordy was pissed too. You know, when Barry Gordy actually worked for Motown, he was just a janitor. That's it. He ain't do no music or anything like that. But he still was kind of full of crap. Because why you taking pictures, holding albums, and doing all that? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But all this goes together. Point being, this stuff happening. Information is needed to be confirmed. I want y'all problem. I want y'all problem. I ain't never tell nobody. I want y'all problem. I ain't never tell nobody do no wrong. They just went straight to Instagram on here. What's your problem, Big Isha? Go out on them sister, none of them kids. You either, me. I'm talking about the one they called Demetri Bush. That ain't even her name. She came around us doing all this lying. Her daddy and mama knew it. They was on bull crap anyway. All of a sudden she was talking about her daddy name Charles. You hear me? Her mama named Yvonne Cheryl and all this other stuff. And I ain't know them people. I ain't know they was living on my property. Man, little flip all of a sudden. Where you live at? Andre 3000 and you know, knocking on my door trying to borrow panties and bras. Borrow food, all this. And I went over there. What is y'all doing? They said Cheryl say she could live there, and she just when she started saying her name was Cheryl and all this. Hold up, no. Talk about Cheryl, talking about her mom. Cheryl mama don't own nothing. I don't even know who Cheryl mama is. I didn't know her. Her name is not even Cheryl or Cheryl Farmer. And this show ain't Cheryl Desmond. I told y'all the story about that. You know? People full of crap because what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell all your business keep messing with me and mine. And then it was questionable. About some of these other people I met. Bruno didn't know all that. Who the hell y'all was talking to? Who were you all talking to know certain things? And that's what Kim said. Diddy wife. Diddy did for real. His wife was wondering too about some of these people down here in Florida right around me. Now currently. Back then. Yeah, she told what happened too. About J-Lo, all this other stuff. I didn't know how all these people met, maybe walking to the stores or whatever, because I own every store on the block. You walk down the sidewalk, going toward by the projects, I own Shell's gas station. Across the street, I own the fish market. That was going to the right when you left out my back door. You go straight ahead, if you go out my back door, bam, I had a store right there 2 blocks away. You go out my front door, you walk across that football-sized field, bam. I had a store right there, right across the street from Arthur Treacher's. Y'all remember what Arthur Treacher's was? I'm going back. That's how long I've been in business. Right there by the federal courthouse and the hospital right there, too. Everything was across the street. You walk on down the street, bam, my own Clark gas station. Yeah, right down the street. And you ain't even have to cross the street to leave my liquor store on Broadway, keep on down, like a city block. My gas station right there. Yeah. I owned everything basically in East St. Louis. All the gas stations, everything. Stores, everything. Them Blackman family didn't own nothing. They was trying to be on some bull crap with Fred and Stryker now. Like they was gonna bully me. Is you crazy? That's when my Uncle Jimmy and everybody was like, what's going on? Yeah, they out here. We finna take care of this. And they did. Clee now. They was on bull crap too. Then all them want to hook up talking about they was family. Then they doing all this Vice Lord gang stuff and gangster disciple stuff. And everybody clicked in some stuff. They didn't even know what was going on. We talking about some kidnapping and people hurting kids and switching people babies at the hospital, taking people babies at the hospital. They tried that mess when I went in the hospital to have my twins, my last set of twins. Cause I got some other twins, KK and K. My other kids, this the last set of kids I had by Allen Iverson, the NBA player. I'm going in the room, some girl come out with a big old light skin baby. How she know my baby's gonna be light skinned? How did she even know I was pregnant by Allen Iverson? Because I really hadn't told nobody. How did she know me and him was hooking back up, But she had this big old light skin baby. Baby, she was a couple of months old, talking about her mama didn't want her. But Dr. Davis said, what the hell you been doing? They ain't got nothing to do with us. You better take that baby back to who it belonged to. A real big old baby. Had her in a cart in one of them big old silver wash buckets that you use for surgery. Mm-hmm. And that was at Touche Regional Hospital. And still now, my baby ended up getting kidnapped. Centerville Police Department right next door to the hospital. They found out what was going on. We was on it. Yeah, especially my baby. And they gave me, it's just so much was surrounding it. But Dr. Davis was on some bullcrap. Oh, wait. He knew that girl was finna do that type of stuff they was doing. That's the last set of kids I had in 2001. Haven't gave birth to a child since 2001. I had been pregnant again. Don't get me wrong. And I got to take up for my kids' daddy just a little bit. When I meet somebody that's ignorant or stupid, they think I shouldn't be with, they'll start acting like them dudes. Anybody I meet, you might as well go and be back with me. Or you want to be with somebody like that? Oh, man. Then they'll start acting like that person. Just let me know he ain't crap. You know, this one dude that I met from Bruno. Okay. You know, my son Bruno Mars, you know, he ain't my biological, but he had been around me for so long. I knew his mom was on some bull crap. We never knew his name. So I named him Jalen Williams. He didn't ever know his mama name or nothing. I thought when I gave him back when he was in the kindergarten that maybe she, mm-mm. Oh no, we was already on her. No good. Told y'all about that in the other video. Met this dude or whatever. He got me pregnant, got me raped. Second time, I lived at 104 North 12th Street, but I had got pregnant down here in Florida by him. And he did the same thing to my baby daddies knew that too. See, he didn't know those was my kids' daddies. Yeah. He had Bruno Mars, the one I raised, brothers to rape me. And see, he didn't know I had cameras in my house and my smoke detectors. See, that's when Sid and Red and Amber Page brother, and they, you know, they call themselves brother and sister because of Vice Lord stuff. And but they was like, they tripping. What they doing? Black Sam like, mm-hmm. Told y'all what happened when I got sick real bad. All this other stuff had happened. One thing, and Black Sam them told them when they come from California, she better not be nothing wrong with her. She better be walking. She better not be sick. We know what her cancer do to her. Cause see, I've been knowing Black Sam now. I ain't talking about no damn nips now. I ain't dealing with no nips and no giants. And it was obvious James was on some bull crap. Cause he knew what Iggy was on and what Iggy and them was doing. He thought it was cool. And he know doggone well I wasn't scared of nobody. It ain't the point that my heart pumped tough. I just stand my ground. Leave me alone and mine. Like they messed over my big baby. He's smart. Now I'm gonna give you an example how he was. I'm talking to my quads. I say I gotta get some IDs and all this type stuff. You know. And that's I'm gonna get your little boy one too. You can get a state ID. Also, I'll have to get you a card or something because I had to get everybody passports because we was gonna go to Jamaica. You know, see the my people. And you know what my baby did? This boy went to the DMV with everybody birth certificate, social security cards, had enough money, and took pictures. Got IDs and everybody's name with his face on. They let him do it. He trying to help. I say, mm-hmm. So you know these your brothers? Yeah, tell me I got to get IDs for them. Not with your face on there. You don't take the picture for them. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years old. He went to the DMV himself. He sure did pay somebody to give him a ride. He's smart on this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, but he a little slow on other things because he has a happy demeanor. He doesn't bother nobody. Nothing. He always want to help his sisters and brothers, which is, you know, the rest of my kids. Hmm. Yeah. So when I got raped that night, he was there. When Mary J. Blige's son, hmm and everybody remember Jamie White, Mama, Jamie, them. When they called Big Mac, walked in on him. I was out like a count. This man put something in my soda. He had never been there. You know, Mary J. Blige's son, the one to be trying to act like my son by a while. Uh-huh. Everybody know the difference. He don't look like my son. When he did them concerts, and my son was like, Mom, I ain't worried about it. He had to give me half everything. Half everything. You know, I don't dance like that and act no fool like that. He was like, man, you embarrassing me. He said, I can't even get back on stage saying I'm Bow Wow. And everybody talking all that mess that you doing for real. He was telling my baby to rape me. He was like, that's my mama. That's my mama. And J-Man was with them too. You know, It really just don't make any sense. See, when I'm doing exploitation, I'm doing it the right way. These are crimes that have been committed and people trying to clear their names. And the names I mentioned and the way I said it, they don't mind. Because they was kids themselves. Even got to the point where Kanye West had to step in. He got more kids for other kids, and they was with Kim Kardashian them for a while in California. They be back and forth, you know. Mm-hmm. Plus, he was like, "When you gonna go home?" You know, because I got a beautiful home in Homely Hills. Beautiful. Just clearing up stuff around her. You know, but not clearing up everything is just making sure these cases are completely closed. No more certain things. No more evidence, surveillance, everything already been submitted. You know, and it really just don't make any sense. Here I am, kicking. I'm 60. You know, I'm old as I don't know what. And my life had kind of detoured because of this foolishness, and the government kept pulling me back in to a certain extent because it involved my kids. They got kidnapped, quote unquote, deceased. And they needed more information about other people. And so they started looking into who everybody was hooking up with. And I thank you all for telling the truth. Lord knows I thank you. Lord knows. Then a couple, this stupid person named Mark Russian, the biggest one. I mean, I'm just gonna describe him and his brothers. He the only one that ain't really got no big penis. Every the rest of them do. He the only one, and he the only one that's more gay than bisexual. That cut her. My points of being to describing him because that's him. Him and Loretta and them breaking in my house, stealing stuff, stealing Christmas trees, all types of stuff. They was just stealing from me. My point to them is, he told me I was letting people, and Lord knows, I ain't never paid nobody to do nothing to nobody. Mm-mm. He told them I was letting people steal from me so he can get demised. I'm telling you, Plies never tell you that. They say he crazy. You ain't worth nothing. He said somebody will beat you up for nothing. You know? Yes. You know. This don't make no sense. People know me. People been knowing me. People been knowing I was a queen. I'm in history books. That's why a lot of kids know me. You know? And y'all know me too. You know? It just really is so much. It's so much. I am me the whole time. Never in anybody business, never caused any problem. I didn't have time for all that. I always had been gainfully employed. You know that little rap song, and I'm gonna end it with, and it say, "I ain't never had a job." Said, "No, I had a job when I was 18, and I told you I had 20 on my wrist. I'm up, bitch." Y'all know how the rest of that song go. Anybody that knew my music. Yeah, I had a job when I was 18. I called that a job when I was teaching. At the high school, the elementary school. And then I went on to school to be a doctor. They loved my essay. I submitted everything, got in. You just can't go to school and sign up and say you want to be a doctor. You got to tell why. Positions that I earned with degrees, I had to explain why. I'm internal medicine, surgeon, psychologist, DDS dentist. Mm-hmm. Yep. And most of all, I have my DEA license. You know, I am Shonda. I am a queen. I am my own country. And to end this, like I told you, Christopher Columbus ain't got nothing on me. Because when you tell my story, I developed my own country where nobody ever lived at. There was no famine, no drought, nothing wrong there. You know, have islands. I got ships. I mean, people want to play the color role. Ooh, yeah. You know, all those ships with Disney, that's my stuff. I have 5 cruise ships. And then our own Royal Caribbean. Whew, got ships there too. That's my stuff. Somebody told me something to go down or something. Why you got all these ships? Mm-hmm. Got islands and everything. Oh, wait. I'm glad I didn't give up on myself no matter what the hurt I was going through. It didn't stop me from doing all positive stuff, you know. But I let a lot of other people get involved because I know other people had kids missing and family members missing and all that. We all joined together. And that's when I created the phone company, MCI, Family and Friends. That's what I called the Family and Friends Network. And we called a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Sure did. Some of their kids was dead too, but we found out what we need to find out, and they helped themselves too. So, you know, when you so for sure and positive about stuff, especially with you and your family, you have to help. You gotta help. Just don't sit back. This one dude was on her on TikTok. Why don't you go back to Florida and let this happen and they'll do this? Oh no, I gotta help myself. So got all my help myself. Already been done. With the CIA being involved and all that stuff. I'm high profile. I'm a queen. I'm a nation's leader. I'm a leader in society. And regardless of what my position in society is, we all live on this earth together. You have to remember we are human. And don't ignore them animals. They be telling you stuff too. You have to remember. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna end this so I can repost it. Gotta make sure it's not over all along, you know. Okay.